Hiya, it's Deputy Prime Minister, proud Northerner and Basic Instinct enthusiast Angela Rayner, and welcome to another No-Brainer with Angela Rayner. It has been a fantastically productive week for us Labours. Our Keir was on top form in PMQs and he really did put Kemi Badenoch in her place over and over again. He told her yet again that she was talking absolute nonsense because she was. And, you know, I had to say, I usually say that the opposition is chunter in a way. I thought this week, do you know what? It is my turn. So I was backing him up going, yeah, and so what? And yeah, that's right. Because I felt he needed backing up a little bit. And do you know what? Typically, the far-right adjacent media just had to come in and slag him off. Because not only did he say that she was talking nonsense, he told her that she was probably going to be the next lettuce. And everybody kicked off, saying that that was a very misogynistic thing to say. And actually, the reference was to do with Liz Truss being outlasted by a lettuce. And he was saying that if you're not careful, that's going to happen to you as well. How is that misogynistic? There's nothing misogynistic about it. Our Keir loves women. Just ask our Toria how much he loves women. Does not look how happy she is when she's with him. I think she would know if he was a misogynist. It's absolutely ridiculous. Honestly, the press are just clutching at anything at the moment to slag off our Keir. Absolutely stupid. But our Rachel was not at PMQs this week. You may have noticed she was replaced by our Bridget, who was looking very glamorous. She'd actually been on a date night the night before and she'd got a lovely dress on with a neckline that draws the eye, and I said, go on the front bench, Bridge, you look fantastic, and a bit of glamour, that's what we need. So she did, and our Rachel was very, very busy doing a very important speech, and she did really, really well. We had changed her settings to U-turn before she started a speech, and because there was a few U-turns that she did, and they were very important. And after years and years and years of working with environmentalists to try and put a stop to the building of the third runway at Heathrow, she decided that she was now going to U-turn on that and totally go for it, because it was an important thing to do. And, you know, that has put a cat amongst the pigeons a little bit, and people have got a bit upset. But it is important because it is all about growth, and that was a word that we had programmed into her that she used multiple times throughout the speech. It is all about growth. That is a word that our David unfortunately cannot stand to hear at the moment. It does trigger him a lot because, as you all know, he is trying to grow a cervix for Eddie Izzard, and last week he dumped an entire tube of estrogen gel into the pot to see if that would help grow the cervix, and nothing has happened. So he is very upset and he does get triggered by the word. So we just have to hope he wasn't listening to our Rachel's speech. But it did really, it set the tone, did our Rachel's speech. She made sure that she slagged off Liz Truss, talked about her disastrous mini budget. We've got to do it. It's part of what us Labours do. Got to remind the country of what Liz Truss did and how it's all her fault. So she did. And she talked about all of the other things that the Tories failed at, and it was important to remind everybody of that. And then she did just more growth. And then there was another U-turn where she said she wasn't no longer worried about bats and newts. And people started slagging her off again. Excuse me, the reason why she's no longer worried about the bats and the newts is because I am dealing with the bats and the newts. Me and our Ken are building comfortable underground newt tents for the newts. So you don't need to worry about the newts. That's all she meant by that. Now, the other U-turn came when she was asked if she was going to publish tax returns, and she said no. And then everybody got upset, so she did a very quick U-turn and went, actually, I will. So there you go. So there was a bit of U-turning, but it was essential because that's how you get growth. So there you go. Now, she also did a lot of bigging up of Andy Burnham. It was defo big up Burnham throughout that speech. And I mean, we do absolutely love our Andy. So I think it was very important to remind the nation of what an important person he actually is. So that was really, really good. Now, someone else in the Us Labours that you might have forgotten about is our Mike. Wondering, are you, whether how's he done in his court case? Because he was in court. Well, he pled guilty to lamping one of his constituents and then lamping him 5 or 6 more times when he was down on the ground. And it was important that he did that. But I just want to remind you all, he is no longer one of Us Labours because we suspended him. So he's not really our problem anymore, and he is going to be getting his sentence in a few weeks' time, and it's probably just a bit of community service. And he does like serving the community, so I'm sure he would be absolutely fine with that. So it's a good thing. Maybe a little slap on the wrist, told don't do it again, say sorry, and, you know, pick up some litter or something. I don't know what it will be. But again, he is not one of Us Labours, so we don't really claim him anymore. But I just thought you'd be interested to know what was going on with that. But there you go, another productive week. And just to prove, yet again, Us Labours continue to go from strength to strength. I'll see you again on another No-Brainer with Angela Rayner. The reason why she's no longer worried about the bats and the newts is because I am dealing with the bats and the newts.